What was that little motion? That was weird. Now somebody's gonna kill him. With like a ranged weapon or something. Maybe not. Wonder how much of this is going to carry over into The Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt. This seems a bit weird. I don't trust her. Ladybug, tell me everything you need to know. Or everything you need to know? This is not really the time to contemplate the ladybug. This might be a good time to get the hell out. Close the door! Close the door! What are you doing? You born in a barn? Yeah, I'm so gonna read a bunch of spoilers and shit because I'm curious. Because yeah, I mean, obviously Letho, not a good dude necessarily, but could use a powerful ally later on.
The Witcher had traveled far and wide in search of the Kingslayers. Along the way, he had met both the righteous and scoundrels, Bernard Laredo amongst the latter. Laredo sold Flotsam to Kedwin and scattered the local non-humans to the four winds.
Was there anything I could have done to prevent that? I don't remember.
Flotsam became a military base. Its civilian population was resettled. In Edirn, the Witcher witnessed Saskia the Dragon Slayer achieve a great victory. The Pontar Valley, previously Upper Edirn, became a promised land for outcasts who dared dream of freedom. Even sly old Zoltan Chive came to believe in this land of bliss. Yet dark times approached for the architects of the New Order. Dark clouds had been gathering over Temeria since Foltest's death. Stripped of its king, the land was like a rich cloth which nobles began to shred. These minor scavengers, however, scurried off in fear when true predators reached out for their prize. The summit at Loch Muin sealed the fate of Foltest's realm, when Radovid of Redania and Henselt of Kedwin divided it between them. A tempest descended on the north, at least partly the work of manipulative mages. It seemed the turmoil in Temeria, Edirn, and Kedwin would benefit them most. Common folk turned against sorceresses and all magic freaks, witchers included. Castles that had hitherto welcomed mavens of the magic arts now shut their gates to any who sought shelter there. A witch hunt ensued.
Oh, great. A Witcher hunt, too, apparently.
It was a time of great uncertainty, of rape accomplished by royal decree. Yet as troubled as the days seemed, we, who had in some way shaped the world's fate, finally received some respite. Zoltan resumed the quest for his beloved's hand, and I laid my head in the laps of the muses.
I don't know if those are muses,
Who could have known this tempest which had ravaged the north was but a harbinger of darker days, and the preamble to an entirely new tale of Geralt of Rivia.
Yeah, wondering how much of that you can change based on your various choices. Like the guy in the very first city. I don't remember if I have a choice to kill him or get him imprisoned or whatever, because it seemed like I would have done that, or I might have left him alive for a specific purpose. I don't know how we could have stopped this whole uprising against the sorceresses and the witchers, because that was kind of out of our hands, I think. But anyway, yeah. So this is where I normally talk about the game, what I thought of it, blah, blah, blah. Overall, very, very good. Damn good. Far better than the first game. If you have not seen my LP of the first game, do not, because it wasn't good. Just read a Wikipedia article. Game was not good at all. Wow, that looks like it hurts. A lot. Probably not for long, but But yeah, don't watch it. Wasn't good. Was not a good game. So I was skeptical about this one as well. Wow. That's that didn't happen. Not in our story anyway. But yeah, this game was much better. Very good RPG. I really like too that apparently, depending on who you side with, Yorvith or Roche, at least chapter 2 and possibly a good bit of chapter 3 will be a lot different. So that's actually really cool. Like you don't see game developers doing that anymore. Like there might be some minor changes here and there, but not like you do completely different things, different quests, different area. So that's really cool. If I had time, I would probably play through again just to see what the difference is, but I might just like watch somebody else's LP or see bits and pieces of it, because I would like to see what happens or what's different. We're choosing a different path. But you know, I wasn't gonna say the combat is one of the weak points for sure. Not that great. You do have a lot of options though, with the bombs and the traps and the daggers. That's nice, but the combat itself felt weak. It was passable. It wasn't terrible, but it didn't feel as good as it could have. Hopefully that's something they fixed in The Witcher 3. Obviously it was crappy in the first one. This was definitely a big step up combat-wise from the first one, but still not great. Boss fights were another huge weakness. I feel the only boss fight I enjoyed was the first one. All the others were pretty lame, including the dragon at the end. Of course, we didn't fight, what's his name, the second time. Who only knows what that would have been like. But yeah, the boss fights were definitely a weakness, because sometimes it was too easy, like the Draug. Once you get behind him and just start hitting him with heavy blows, he doesn't fight back anymore, and you just spam right click until he dies. And then the dragon seemed really weak as well. It was mostly kind of like run in, hit once, dodge out, run in, hit once, dodge out, run in, hit once, dodge out, over and over again. Or throw all your bombs and daggers like I did, which, you know, that worked too. So yeah, that was not a highlight. The story was good, of what I can actually remember / understand of it. I really like that they have all the journal entries for all the characters, so that you can go and read about them, and updates the quest log. Instead of removing what you had previously, or you had done previously, it just adds to it, so you can keep track of, you know, what's happening and why. Which is really nice when you A, have a really bad memory, or B, come back to the game after you've been gone a while, or if you have, you know, both problems, which makes it even worse. But the crafting was interesting. The only thing I didn't like about crafting is you have, you know, a weight limit, so you can't keep your crafting stuff on you. So when you want to do a crafting session, you're going to have to grab things out of the bank. Doing a lot of switching back and forth. That gets a little annoying, but overall, I think it was good. I like the ability to make bombs and daggers and traps, and occasionally armor. There's definitely more armor choices and weapon choices in this game. Not a whole lot, but there was enough, I'd say. I don't really like having to constantly compare every piece of armor you get, so I don't mind that there wasn't that many weapon and armor upgrades. So I think it was a good pace. The leveling pacing was a bit weird. Like, it felt early on that leveling was super slow, and then you'd go a good while and not get any levels, and then all of a sudden you get 2 or 3 levels in short succession because you did a few quests that gave you a ton of XP. So that was a bit weird. It felt a little off. Not a huge negative, but just a bit strange. But yeah, overall, it was really fun. I enjoyed it. As far as a rating, I would, sorry, I'm trying to read that. Out of a 1 to 10 scale, I'd actually give this, I'd say probably an 8. Maybe an 8.5, maybe. the things they need to work. There's still some weird bugs, still some weirdness. Either bugs or just things that are a little janky. For example, you still have that problem where you can't pick up items unless you're out of combat. It's super annoying. So you kill all the enemies and have to stand there for 5 seconds to wait so that you can loot everything. That's very annoying. Enemies being immune to attacks while they're zoning in is pretty dumb. Just make the enemies spawn in faster if that's going to be the case. And I've run into weird bugs. Like, I didn't record this, but at one point when I was doing the gargoyle quest, the runes actually disappeared. Like, I could see where they were, but the actual rune graphics for all 4 runes disappeared. And I had to quit, or not quit the game, but just reload the save to get them back. It was quite strange. But yeah, but it wasn't, super buggy. It was just a little jankiness here and there. And also too, when you hit enemies, the enemies had like the direction they would go was just very weird. And Geralt doesn't do a good job of keeping up. Like, if I'm going to push an enemy back that far, you would think naturally he would step into his slashes. So it's not like you swing twice and all of a sudden your enemy is 10 feet away and you have to stop swinging and run over to them. You think it would be more smooth. Like, it didn't feel smooth, I guess, is the word. Or janky. It felt janky. Because, like, again, you'd hit 2 or 3 times and you'd push them so far that now you can't hit them anymore, so you have to stop, walk up to them again, and start swinging. So, again, it just didn't feel all that smooth. But, yeah, overall, sorry, I'm kind of tired. A little bit. As far as the price, what I would suggest, because I always suggest a good price to pay for this. If you're an RPG fan, easily, if you're an RPG fan and you could see yourself playing this once, I could see paying 50 to 60 for this. It shouldn't be that much now anywhere because it's been out a while, and the third one's coming out soon. Easily 50 to 60. If you're the type who would play it more than once to try different methods and to see the different stories, absolutely, again, 50 and 60 without hesitation. Just because it's, I don't know how long I played this, but it was at least 40 hours, probably more than that. Probably 50 to 60 if you include all the time that I didn't record, where I was just running around, sorting my inventory, things like that. If you like RPGs, but you're not, huge into, like, play every RPG that comes out, and you probably would only play it once, I would say 30, 35-ish, easy, pretty easy, maybe 40. But again, I think you can find it even normally priced less than both of that. So as long as you don't hate RPGs, I absolutely would suggest this. Now, if you don't really want to fiddle with making the potions, making the bombs, learning all the ins and outs, well, there's not really a lot of ins and out of combat. It's very simplistic combat. Then I'd probably play it on easy or normal. Normal's probably fine. I mean, I didn't really try it on normal, but I would imagine it's probably built around the idea that you can just play the game and not have to worry about constantly making bombs and daggers and traps and all that. With the harder, it seems like that was definitely it wanted you to do that, which is fine. I mean, that's using all your tools to defeat the enemies. I can see where they were going with it. That's totally fine. I think that's probably a good thing. So yeah, definitely worth picking up if you like RPGs at all. I would definitely skip Witcher 1 though. A lot of people will disagree with me on that. I honestly don't see how. Witcher 1, like, maybe it was great when it first came out, and oh well, it is a small studio, blah blah blah. Yes, I understand all that. That doesn't make the game good. It was just not good. But it just, oof, man, Witcher 1 was not a good game. Let's just put it that way. So yes, skip Witcher 1 unless you just absolutely positively feel like you have to play it. And even then, I would put the difficulty low so that you don't have to deal with some of the nonsense. But Witcher 2, absolutely, without question, worth playing. This is probably one of my favorite games that I've played this year. To put it another way. And again, anyone who watched my Witcher 1 LP knows that I did not like that. So that's saying quite a bit. Man, these credits are slow as hell. Can I click? See, the thing is, I never want to hit escape. I never want to press any buttons because I'm afraid if there's something after the credits, it'll skip it. By the way, never do your credits this slow. Never do your credits this slow. Like, this is completely asinine. But yeah, it's really good. I liked it. Again, I wish I understood the story better. And again, a lot of that is more to do with my own memory just being terrible and not being able to keep, you know, Radovid and Stennis and Foltest and, you know, in all the different locations and the different armies, all separate in my head. It's like, I'm amazed I can do it with Game of Thrones stuff. But that's probably just because I've been reading and watching and all of that a lot longer. So eventually I could learn all the Witcher lore. And like I mentioned before, I actually do have the first book. Well, the first book that has been English translated, I think. The Last Wish, I think is what it's called. I have that book, and I do plan on reading it once I finish reading Dance of Dragons. I really hate when they have really long, slow credits. Credits should never last longer than 10 minutes. Like 10 minutes, absolute highest. Ever. Because seriously, nobody ever reads them. And I don't want to hit escape. Or anything. I did left click. Jessica Rozenek. Adam Bauman. Actually, I think these are probably the Polish voice actors, which, why would I even care who the Polish voice actors are? For when I just play the American version, or the English version. That seems a bit weird. But, yeah, I don't know. Triss seemed to be really weird when we picked her up. Like, after all that, she's just kind of like, hey, what's going on? It's like, okay. Alright, well, I'll tell you what. I'm actually just going to kind of cut this here. If there's anything interesting that comes up after the credits, I'll pick you guys up. But otherwise, thank you for watching this Let's Play of Witcher 2. Like my videos if you like them. That does help me out a lot. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, though I imagine if you've watched this far, you almost certainly have. And I upload quite a lot. Follow me on Twitter. That's where I post all my updates and what have you. So yes, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next Let's Play. Oh god. Finally. That was like 30 minutes. Seriously, folks. Are you seriously trying to sneak up? Wait, that had to have been the stupidest rabbit of all time. The deer's like, I want that rabbit. He took the time to tie up those, like, 4 sticks. Wow, what jerks. Oh, good lord. So wait, is that the Empire or is that Nilfgaard? Looks like, well, given the flame coming from the south, I'm going to guess the Empire. Oh, well, well. For all as we know, it nears its end, yet the past remains the key to the future. Ah, of course. Makes total sense. All right. Well, again, we're done with The Witcher. I'm not going to go through my spiel again. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you in The Witcher 3.